The date with death?
Well, it's not that I hold back my stories. It's like I, got so many experiences. I don't know which one to talk about sometimes. Um, and different things mean more to some, and not as much to others. But the the story, the date with death story, was as my wife titled it. It was just a decision that I made not to go on a trip to represent the United States in Poland. Okay, a team from the United States was going to Poland to compete in an international event, USA versus Poland. I had just completed a tour with another USA team that went to East Germany. So we were in East Germany. We fought like 2 or 3 times, I think, there. And so on our way back to the United States, like just before we left East Germany, flying back to the United States across the Atlantic, my coach from the USA team came up to me and said that, hey, H.E., they need a featherweight to compete on the USA team that's going to Poland. And was wondering if you wanted to be part of that team, and that's when I had just won my second national title, and I was like on a roll, and I wanted to keep that momentum going. So I said, right off the bat, I just said, yeah, sure, I want to go, So they were all making all of the arrangements and everything, and it was all set to go. So as we were flying back over the Atlantic, all of a sudden, as I was sitting in my seat, I remember it was like a nighttime flight, and I just had this odd feeling that I shouldn't go, and it wasn't just, a passing feeling, but it was like something really deep, like a prompting, like I can't go, Then I'm thinking to myself, why? I'm not that homesick or, or anything like that, but something just deeply, I could sense it said, don't go on that trip. So while we were flying, it was a nighttime flight, I got out of my seat, went to the row that the head coach and the delegation head of the USA delegation was sitting in, and I said, you know what, I changed my mind. I don't want to go to Poland. I want to go straight back home. And then
I can just imagine a lot of people might have kind of been upset.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they were. The head of the delegation said, you know what? We made all the arrangements and everything. You're on that trip, and you don't want to go now. And he was raising his voice. And I said, I'm sorry, sir, but I just don't feel like going. No, And he said, H.E., and he pointed his finger at me and says, H.E., we're never going to use you again on any more USA flights, USA trips. And I was like, wow, I was like shocked. Wow, just for that decision. But, I was thinking, this is like, I'm about ready to turn pro anyway,
Mm-hmm.
So I just stuck to my guns. And I said, nah, I'm sorry, sir, but I got to go back home,
Mm-hmm.
So it was that it was just cut and dried. They were upset, but I was like determined to not go on that trip.
So you're on a flight back home,
back to Hawaii,
and they're going to Poland.
Yeah. So the team landed in New York, and then most of the guys on my flight back from East Germany caught their connections back home,
mm-hmm.
right? And I think I was the only one that was supposed to go connect to the flight to go to Poland. Instead, they rearranged my plane ticket, and I flew back home to Honolulu. So I was back home in Honolulu. My dad picked me up. Then we went back. I was at home, and I was asleep. All of a sudden, the phone started ringing in our house. And it was like, I could hear the phone ring. It was like we had a hallway phone, So my dad got up all grumpy because it was like about 2, 3 in the morning. And I could hear my dad talking, and my dad saying, what do you mean? He's not dead. I just picked him up at the airport. He's in his room sleeping. My dad was all mad and irritated and hung up. You know, and I didn't get up off the bed because my dad is upset. I said, I'm going to ask him nothing. I don't know what they're talking about. And then the next morning when we did get up, right, and, you know, it was like Sunday morning. So Sunday paper came out, right, and Sunday paper, there was a headline, you know, USA plane crash. A whole USA Olympic boxing team died. Everyone was killed. And all of a sudden, all the hairs on my arm and my neck and my head just stood up. And I was like, oh my God. Then, you know, I grabbed the paper and went to my dad and my mom and said, look at this. I was supposed to be on this flight. You know, and then my dad said, no wonder we got that phone call. You know, they thought that I was still on the plane.
Wow.
You know, because my name was still on the traveling manifest.
Literally, you were meant to be. That's crazy. And then,
you know,
your name is on this flight.
Yeah. So since that time, you know, I'm thinking, wow. I mean, God must have had another purpose for me.
That must have. Did. Yeah. Wow. So basically, you were the surviving member of that team going to Poland.
But since then, I met 2 other people that also missed that flight. Last ringside trip, I met a coach, and I forget where he ended up in, but when he heard about my story, because I posted it on Facebook, that, you know, I missed this flight because of this decision, this prompting that I had. Right then, I missed that trip to Poland, and then he said he read that, so he looked me up when we were at ringside. He came up to me, he said, "Hey, Coach H, I missed that flight too." And you know why I missed that flight? Because as he was driving to the airport, right, a cop stopped him and he got a traffic ticket, and he was telling the cop that he's late and he's going to miss his flight, and the cop wouldn't slow down for nothing, just took his time, wrote the ticket. So by the time he got his you know, the ticket and went back to the airport, he missed his flight.
Oh wow!
And now he's a coach.
Oh wow!
And Israel too was supposed to be, right?
Yeah, but I don't know Israel's story. Yeah, Israel Acosta. He was one of the coaches at the last Olympics, in the 2016 Olympics. Yeah, and he also missed that flight.
Oh wow! Coach, it's amazing. I know I will be back to get probably how many more stories we got, Andy Rob? Maybe a few more stories. Hey, Coach, I really appreciate you sharing that moment with Brown Boxing and all of the fans and people that will be watching this video. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right.